Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a yin yoga practice that's focused on the back and the legs. So we're going to do a lot of forward folds, some back bends. We're going to focus on the quads a bit. We're going to finish off with a twist and then relaxation. And all you need for your practice is a blanket. So go ahead and grab your prop, head to your mat, and we'll get started. Hey, welcome back. So remember, if you want to get access to this class 2 weeks early, you will be able to practice live, have immediate on-demand access. You can scan that QR code down there in the corner and become a member at theyogamat.com. So first pose we're going to work through is butterfly. So we're going to come to seated. We'll take the soles of the feet together. And we'll be targeting a couple different areas in this one. So inner thighs and your back, those are your two potential target areas. So when you come into this, again, you might be used to drawing the heels in fairly close. And then when you fold forward, and you want to fold until you just feel a little bit of resistance in one or both of those spots. So let me get our timer started here. So again, see where you feel the stress in those areas. And we just want to have a mild to moderate amount of sensation there. So if you think of it on a scale of 0 to 10, 0, you wouldn't be feeling anything at all. 10, you'd be in a whole lot of pain. Mild to moderate, somewhere around a 2 to 4. So again, once you get here, if you only feel it in one area but not the other, then you can try to change this a little bit. So if you have your heels in close, maybe you're only feeling it in your inner thighs, but not your back, then you might choose to take the feet out a little bit further. So you get more of this diamond shape with the legs. And if that gets both of the areas, that's fine, stay there. If it only gets one area but not the other, then again, maybe you find that you can only get one spot, or you just keep adjusting the legs until it gets there. So we'll try to settle in. Again, we're going to be in each pose for some of them a minute. I'm not going to do anything over 3 minutes today, these shorter classes. And you might let the head relax. If you had a bolster or a block, something that you could prop up and you could let your forehead rest on it, and that can make it a little bit easier to relax down into a pose. And we're already about halfway there. So again, scan your body, see if you're still in that mild to moderate range of stress in those couple areas. If it's gotten a little bit too mild, then you may consider trying to work your way into it a little bit further. And that might be just meaning you got to fold a little bit further forward or drawing the heels in closer towards you. Again, it could be different from how I've got mine set up here. And if you're new to yin yoga, again, we're targeting specific areas of the body, these yin tissues, your fascia. So you can think of your fascia, your connective tissue, your joints, your ligaments. Those take a bit longer to get into. So that's why we usually try to hold things for a minute, couple minutes at a time. And that doesn't mean you have to stay in each pose for the amount of time that I've got picked out. That might not be appropriate for you, especially if it's your first few times doing yin. You may have to build your tolerance up to it. So, and if you need to come out of it, it gets above that moderate level. You can come out of it temporarily, come out of it altogether. Again, it completely is up to you. And that's our time. Slowly start to work your way back up. We're going to take a counter pose of either windshield wipers or just straight legs. And then letting the ankles rock side to side. So if you're going to do windshield wipers, your feet wide, just let the knees drop from side to side a few times. And again, this is just to get things unstuck again. So no set amount of time there. Again, if windshield wipers isn't appropriate, maybe it bothers your knees, just straight legs, letting your ankles rock side to side a couple times. Good. And then we're going to come into dragon tail. So you're going to want your blanket for this. And you can double your blanket up on the right side if you need a little bit more cushion. Otherwise, just take it across the middle of your mat here. And then we're going to start with the right knee on the blanket and the left foot forward. So we'll be targeting quad on the back leg. So it most likely needs to go some degree behind the hip. If it's right underneath the hip, probably not going to be able to get into it. So again, some degree behind it. How far you take it back is up to you. We'll try to bend the back leg. See if you can grab hold of your foot with your right hand. And I'm going to go ahead and get our timer going here again. And when you get your foot, you just want to hold on to it. You don't have to try to pull the foot in any closer. You can control this, how much stress you're feeling, by letting the hips drive further forward toward the top of your mat. And if it's too much to grab your foot, or if that causes too much stress, just let the foot go. And again, you can get into the front of that leg the same way, letting the hips drive further forward for more stress, taking stress away, coming back. And I usually choose to keep my left hand on the floor, letting my chest rest here on the thigh. And this still gets into the pose for me, but you might want to be more upright. Maybe you take that left hand to a block, or your left hand or your forearm up to your thigh. And that's our time. We're going to let the leg go. We'll bring this left knee back. And then a little counter pose here. You can go to downward dog if you want to, or if you want to have a down dog free yin practice, just take the right leg back, kind of rock back and forth on that foot a few times, and then you can switch legs. And you're doing the same thing you would be doing if you were in downward dog. And pedaling the feet. Again, when you feel like that's been enough, let's change sides. Step the right foot forward. And you can adjust that left knee back until it gets into the amount of stress that you want it to. And let's get our time going on this side. So again, bend the back leg, try to find hold with the left hand. And again, just so you see what the other option looks like, you could be a little bit more upright here if you wanted. Yeah, range of motion is probably a little bit different from side to side. So again, if you need to be set up different from how you were on the other side, maybe this knee has to go back a little bit further to get the same level of stress as you were able to get on the right leg. Again, that's normal. And you got some differences from side to side, so the pose won't exactly be set up identical from your left to your right. And that's our time again. We'll let the leg go. Let's take it back to a table. And again, we'll take the left leg back and just kind of rock back and forth on that foot a couple times, getting into that calf. You can change legs when you're ready. Then we're going to come on to our stomach for Sphinx Pose. If you want a little cushion under your chest, you just take your blanket out a little bit longer, and then when you lie down over it, start with the elbows forward of the shoulders. So let's find our time here again. So starting with the elbows forward of the shoulders, this will be the least amount of stress, and it's easier, if you start with less stress, and then you can add to it over time. So again, keeping in that mild to moderate range in mind for your lower back. You continue up a little bit more here if you want to, elbows underneath shoulders. And you can just relax down into it if you want, letting your shoulder blades draw together, let the head relax. And then just see what this feels like. And take away the stress if you need to. Take your elbows further forward. If it's not enough, you can bend the knees to add a little bit. And if you had a bolster, you can take the bolster across the front of your mat, placing it underneath your chest. You can let your chest rest on it, and then both arms out over top of it. So you can really let the bolster do all of the work there. Sometimes that's as much of an arch that you need in your back. As we go through these yin poses, again, just like with any other practice, you might find that you're going to get a little bit sore. Usually in another yoga class, the soreness may not kick in right away. You might notice you're a little sore the next day, 2 days after. With yin, you're probably going to notice it right away. So we kind of think of that as instantaneous soreness, but it's temporary. Usually by the time that we've gone through the counter pose, all of that soreness has gone away. So just kind of want to throw that out there. So if you find that you're a little achy, a little sore, you come out of a pose, that's normal, again, as long as it doesn't last very long. You're already more than 2/3 of the way there. Remember, coming out at any point that you need. And that's our time. Go ahead and lower yourself down. You can just cross your forearms and then let the forehead rest on the arms. And slowly start to press yourself back up. You can hang out in tabletop here for a little bit. Again, it's normal to feel a little fragility in a pose after you get out of it. Your body feels a little bit temporarily weakened. And that's normal, so move slowly and start to press yourself back toward child's pose. And we'll come back into rest here. And go ahead and make your way back up. I'm going to use my blanket for the forward folds, and you can do the same thing if you want to. You don't have to. We'll just take it, we'll fold it up a couple times. And then we're going to come through to seated. Just want to be on the rolled edge of it. And all this is going to do is make the pose a little bit more effective. Get the pelvis tilted in the right direction. So just sitting on the rolled edge and barely on it will do the trick. So we'll take the left leg out, half butterfly, right foot, it can be to your thigh, it can be down to your calf. And then you're going to turn to face your left leg. You're going to slowly start to walk the hands forward. And we're just going to try to relax down over this. So you'll be targeting the back of the left leg, be targeting potentially your back as well. But make sure there's no stress going on in that right knee. If it is, then again, you want to change the angle that the knee is going. So if it's foot's to your inner thigh and it's bothering the right knee, take your foot down toward your calf. If that still doesn't get the stress out of the knee, then a blanket, a block, whatever you got, place it underneath that knee so it's got the support it needs. And that's our time. Start to make your way back up. And we'll take that right leg out. Pull the left foot in. Again, take it wherever is not going to cause any stress in that right knee. And you can begin to fold down over your right leg. So let's get our time going here. Again, you don't have to use the blanket. I'm actually going to use it under my left knee on this side. The blanket, you do want to sit on it if your pelvis is not either straight up or tilting forward. If it goes back, then that's for sure when you want to use that blanket. Let's try to relax the muscle there in that right leg. Relax the head. You can hold on to your feet, hold on to this right foot if you want to. You don't have to. If you grab hold of it, just hold on to it. You don't want to try to bend your arms and pull it in any closer. And check in with your body, make any adjustments you need to here, back off, go a little bit further. Again, up to you. And slowly start to press yourself back up. Let's take the left leg out straight. So our last forward fold here is going to be caterpillar. So legs can be together. You can separate your feet hip width here if you want to. You can sit on that blanket if you need it. And then start to fold over both legs. And let's relax the head. Our time, start to make your way back up. Go ahead and lie down on your back. Just rest here briefly with the legs out straight. And taking a small rebound pose. All right, you take your feet to the floor and then knees to your chest. Just gonna take a little twist here before relaxation. Drop your knees to your right, open your arms, look to your left, and just a little active counter pose after those last few forwards folds. And we'll come back to center and then change sides, knees to left. Bring it back to center. And let's take relaxation. Take the legs out long. Turn the palms, face up either side of the hips. And close your eyes, relax. If you've got a little bit more time you can spend in relaxation, then feel free to stay there as long as you'd like. Otherwise, go ahead and slowly start to make your way back up to seated. Taking your hands to your heart, close your eyes. Thanks for practicing. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste. Yeah, see you next time. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that class. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to get a new short form class every week. And if you like what you see and you want to support me, go become a member at theyogamat.com. You'll get unlimited live virtual classes every week and access to our on-demand library with over 500 classes in it. Have a great day. Namaste.